So welcome. Today we are going to talk about decoding the buying process specifically in Denver and the Colorado market, but this will kind of expand across all markets. If you're thinking about buying a home, you're watching the headlines, definitely don't listen to all the fear they're putting out there. Watch this. We'll walk through it. We'll make sure that if the time to buy is right now, we're going to make it happen. So stay tuned for that. What's up, guys? Jeremy Kane, eXp Realty here. Super excited for this one. Living in the Denver suburbs over on YouTube. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this. We are going to take it back to the old school. And this is something that's super passionate to my heart right now, is a lot of first-time home buyers are waiting. 64%, according to a recent video that Nicole Ruth did, who I know that stat has to be true. 64% of buyers are waiting on the sidelines, waiting for those interest rates to drop. That's something that, you know, we as agents, or myself who really understand the market, sees as something that once the interest rates do drop, those 64% of people are going to flood back into the market. Prices are going to go up, and you're actually going to pay more than if you just settled at a higher interest rate that you can hopefully refinance later, as long as the market continues to go up. So we're going to dive into that right now. So if the time to buy is now is the time to buy. So there you go. I said that. That wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a repeat. We have to understand that the market will do what the market does. It's still discounted opposed to renting. It's still delaying you building your wealth if you're not getting into real estate and buying. It's still a pain in the butt if you're living in a home that doesn't suit your needs or your family's needs. So let's talk about taking advantage of the market and where we can kind of do this. And so buying a home, obviously you have to understand in the Denver market, our median home prices are somewhere between $650 and $750, depending on the month. And so it's gonna cost a little bit. And as those home prices, people are talking about that's expensive, it's a little cheaper to rent. It'll always be just a little cheaper to rent, but the key word there is little, because you're not building your own wealth. You're literally throwing all of that money away. There's no return. There's no principal buy down. There's no hope for appreciation. The landlord is getting all of that, right? The landlord is taking advantage of the appreciation. You're buying down the loan in their name if they have a loan, and you know, that's that. The money goes to them. If you're in a home ownership, sure, there is some money that goes to interest, but there's also a portion of every payment that goes to the principal buy down, as well as you will have the benefit from appreciation. Across the country for the last 60 years, average appreciation is between 3% and 4%. So I would bet on that happening a little bit. There's no crash in the cards because of supply and demand. So when we're talking about supply and demand, we have to understand that there's very limited inventory out there. So as a buyer, it's very important that you come ready to go. You come with, you know, the gloves on, because the inventory is slim. So if we do find that perfect house, or a house that works for you for now, then that's where we have to get ready and be ready and go. So understand the market is competitive. Understand that if you're not gonna, you know, get a pre-approval letter and send all the documents to the lender and things like that, it's gonna take you a little bit longer when you find that perfect house. And by the time we get the contract written, that house may be off the market and you may have missed out. So preparation is key. So make sure that you're talking to a lender. I prefer you reach out to me first, and I can connect you with the right lender personality wise that will suit your needs and be the best resource for you. The very worst thing you could be doing is clicking on those ads on Facebook and, you know, applying for mortgages with, you know, a computer, and, you know, you get this stuff back and then you don't work with the same person, and, you know, it's just not the same as working with somebody who's an actual person who can give you feedback, because we have to be ready to go. As listing agents, when I see those .com kind of lending people, I'm a little concerned. So make sure that you're actually dealing with a lender who can actually answer some of your questions, because there may be a better scenario than what the computer can guide you through as far as a loan product. And maybe waiting 3 months to get your credit score up 5 points will make a huge difference. Computer is not going to tell you that, an actual person can. So that's the first and foremost part. You know, make sure you're prepared, make sure you know when your lease is up and how that's going. Next, we're down to the nitty gritty, viewing properties, right? We're comfortable shoes, they're easy to slip off. In Colorado, we have inclement weather at the drop of a dime. Seems like it rains every single day right now. So make sure that you're ready to slide those shoes on and off. A lot of people wear socks for that reason. Don't want to be walking around someone else's house with bare feet. I totally get it, but it's nice to wear those comfortable shoes. It is also an option to get some shoe covers and things like that. Obviously, with wood floors and things like that, I don't love that option because I've seen people slip and fall myself when those are on. So that's the first thing. Comfortable shoes. Come with an open mind. We don't want to try and see 20 houses in a single day, so we're dialing that in. We're making sure we understand everything as we go. And I'm going through this kind of quickly. If you are interested in getting my free buyer workshop that's on video, please comment below and I will definitely send that to you. And I go in detail about every single step that I'm going through. The next thing is, bring notes. A lot of people use their phones, to take notes. You can take some pictures, obviously. Please don't post those on the internet. But you take pictures to kind of jog your mind, because if we see 5 to 6 properties, all of a sudden you have your dream property built and it's a bathroom from house 1, a kitchen from house 2, a yard from house 3, and I just can't recreate that. So make sure you're taking notes. Make sure that if you like a place, it stays on the list. If there's something that's just not there, non-negotiable, get it out. Delete it from your mind. We don't have to even see the whole house. Let's just get out of there so we're not getting ourselves confused. The next thing is video cameras and recording devices are very readily available at Costco. You can get an entire camera system. So make sure that you're not talking about your negotiations or making comments, negative or positive, really about the house. Let's reserve that for, maybe lunch after or something like that. Just go with a subjective mind, understand you're taking notes, you're gathering information. We can talk about it and download all about it beyond. That doesn't mean don't talk. That doesn't mean asking what's this or is this a concern or anything like that. But when you start talking about, let's offer $5,000 less, I can afford it, but I don't, all that stuff could be recorded. I just assume that everything's recorded as a buyer in this market. So once we got that, we're reviewing properties and we're making offers. You have the financing piece, you understand that, so you're comfortable with that. So now we're just dialed in on the single property. What are the inclusions? What's it look like? What's your closing date? All of those things, so we can get really detailed on the details that actually matter. The time frame of closing, when you need the money, and the process of that, within the contract. So we go through that. We do that. Once we're under contract, then we're going to use inspections. One thing about inspections are not your chance to get $5,000 to $10,000 off the price, get a better deal, beat up the seller. Even in this market with limited inventory, the seller's pretty confident that they can move forward and close on the house. So they're not going to do a ton. The inspection main purpose is for educating you as the buyer on your new home. Therefore, I always suggest at least going for a summary walkthrough at the end, knowing what your furnace filter size is, knowing where the water shutoff is, and educating yourself if you cannot be there the whole time. Ultimately, it's better if you're there the whole time. The inspector can call you over, say, hey, this is what I'm talking about. This is how you fix it, so on. Again, for your education, not to beat up the seller or anything like that. And then we'll review the report. You should get a computerized report with pictures and all the things. If you're using an inspector that's not using technology enough to give you a report within 12 hours of doing the inspection, we should probably talk about that. But we'll go through the report, right? And that's a handbook for your home. And then if there's stuff that is major safety, okay, do you have the ability to fix it? Are you an electrician and it's an electrical box swap out? Maybe we just take some cash off or ask for them to give us a concession. Maybe they give us half or whatever, right? And then we kind of go from there. I also like to make a task list of things to do once you purchase the home from this, because it's fresh in your mind, because we ultimately want to make sure that everything's up to standard and taken care of. A lot of times it'll never happen, but sometimes when I sell houses that I've helped purchase, I'm like, yeah, the inspector said that, and exactly what he said would happen as it deteriorated over time would happen, and it did. So now we have to take care of it. So it's nice to have that checklist of maintenance items that are noted there for you when you move into your house. The next thing is, then we'll submit an objection, we'll negotiate with the buyer, the seller, and we'll come to an agreement, we'll move forward. The next part is the appraisal. So we'll make sure the appraisal is ordered. If you're getting a loan, appraiser goes out, the seller handles all of that. The listing agent can meet them out there, give them an appraisal packet. As the buyer, you're not supposed to have contact with the appraisal for, legitimacy matters. So we're good to go there. They'll give us an appraisal. The appraisal will probably come in pretty dang near close to the contract price, unless something's crazy or we're in a crazy market. And then we're moving forward, right? And then it's moving day. Then we have to turn our focus to, getting the utilities transferred over, getting the actual money, getting the moving set up, moving dates, possession dates, all of those things. So we kind of go through that, and then the closing. At the closing in Colorado, we close at title companies. So we'll come together if at all possible. My title company is very receptive, but typically if we're on the buy side, the seller side typically chooses the title company. Most title companies can send remote notaries and things like that to you, especially if you're out of state. But if you're in state, I've had it happen too, where you can sign on your lunch break or do the things. If you're not taking the whole day off because you're not moving right away or whatever. And so we can make that happen. You sign, you pay the money, the loan starts, and then you take possession at some point, whether, within the next 60 days, depending on what the contract looks like. Once you sign the paperwork and whatever, it's yours, you get the keys, you're the owner. You may have some sort of post-closing occupancy, but that's really how we navigate the process. Now, with competition, how it is, it's important that we look at all aspects of the process. We make sure that, we're gonna have to go a little bit over asking prices. This makes sense, right? I'd never wanna put a client into a home where they're maybe overpaying a little bit, or, they're not able to make the monthly payment, especially. But for instance, if you're moving into a forever home, it's your forever home. We're not so concerned about overpaying by $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 if that's what it takes to win it, if it's checks all your boxes. And so we got to make sure that we're understanding that piece of it and what the end goal is, right? Because right now, probably not the best time to be getting into bidding wars, because there are deals out there, because sellers have been on, homes are staying on the market a little longer. So we can kind of navigate through that. But the end goal and what part of the process is this, right? We're probably not going to find your dream home right now in this market with high interest rates, but it can be part of your dream, right? It's just the first step in the dream is getting into home ownership. Then you can level up. Maybe you get into your move up home, and then it's your forever home. Whatever that process looks like, it's important for me to know as your real estate advisor to help you make that plan and understand, right? Maybe you absolutely need a garage because you hate shoveling snow in Colorado off your car, but you want a 3-car garage, but your price point says 1 car. Okay, let's make that work. Right? Put that in your memory bank, Jeremy. Next time we go to buy, that's what we're going to be looking for, right? We have 1-car garage. That's fine. It is what it is. We can settle on that and then move from there. Things we can't navigate. Hey, I have 5 kids. Okay, I'm going to buy a 2-bedroom house. Probably not going to work, right? That's a non-negotiable. Is the space needed? Now, can a couple kids share rooms, or can we make what works so that the payment's comfortable so we can move forward? All of those things are things that I talk about. However, when you're renting, you don't have these options. When you're renting, you're just throwing your money away, and it gets harder and harder as that rent bill increases every single year after year, and you're getting all those upgrades for free, such as, oh, my furnace went out and I didn't have to deal with it. Trust me, you're paying for that, right? That's why your rent's going up every single year over year, because things are getting more expensive to replace, and the taxes and all the things that go up and not down, insurance, right? You're paying for those for someone else. So you're seriously building wealth for someone. It's just not yourself. And so if we can get you into a home, that's what we need to talk about. We need to understand that 7% interest rates, or whatever they are at the time when you're looking to buy, is not our number one concern. Our number one concern is getting into a home so you have shelter, so you can start building your own wealth. All of that is paramount in my home buying process with the people that I go through it with. So if you know anyone who, is thinking about buying or thinking about waiting, if you're on the sidelines, I definitely want you to reach out to me and let's have a conversation, a real conversation. And it may be your best bet to stay on the sidelines for a little bit. But chances are, I'll say 95% of the time, I don't care if your lease is up anytime in the next 12 months, now is the time to start really considering this buying, because once these interest rates do dip a little bit, we're going to see a rush to the market. And if you're a first-time home buyer, especially, you probably don't want to be in this house for, more than 2 to 5 years, and you're going to have to bump up your price, and you're going to have to overpay just a little bit probably to get in. Right now, you can get in at market value, maybe even get some concessions to help with some buy downs and some things. Once that rate dips a little bit, bam, you can snatch a refi if it makes sense. But also you're going to be gaining equity as the other 64% of the people that didn't watch this video and didn't reach out are, coming to the market and trying to compete at that next level. So home buying, take it seriously. Absolutely love helping first-time home buyers, repeat buyers, all the things. So always reach out, like, comment, subscribe. If you're interested in my full home buyer course, please comment below and I will definitely get you a link to that. Other than that, I hope you have a great day and I'm out of here. Bye-bye.